What is good, Internet? It is the No Justice Podcast, home of the pettiest nerds on the Internet. We are your hosts, David and Zach. Say what's up, Zach.
What's up, y'all?
And we are here joined by our good friends at the Ascended Nerd Podcast, Rob, Mr. Ascended, and Skeletor himself, Jeremy. Uh,
So we're not gonna go with Skeletor. We'll just call him Skelly for right now. That's the we gotta come up with something different though.
Yeah, only my friends call me Skeletor.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Enemies.
Well, if I'm doing my job right, the links will be in the description. Go check out their YouTube channel, and you should also be checking out our joint Facebook group, All Nerd Everything on Facebook. I just said that 2 times. Fuck it, whatever. But anyway, so we're gonna be talking about Endgame today. Just pretty much general impressions first and foremost. We'll keep this one spoiler free. We'll go around the table. Zach, how do you feel about Endgame?
I give it like a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10, something like that.
Okay. Anything you want to? Nah, you know what? Fuck it.
It'd be too spoilerish for me.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too.
Little specific things.
Yeah, I was just thinking that because we'll get into spoiled shit real quick. Rob, how you feeling about Endgame?
10 out of 10. If I could scale it, fuck you, Zach. This is my rating. 10 out of 10. If I could go higher, I would. I absolutely love the film. I loved. I will say I understand some of the issues people have with it, particularly with like how long it took for things to really kind of amp up.
That was my biggest problem, probably.
But I appreciate like the ending made it worth it to me. That's
the ending was amazing.
So I will not penalize them for that because I understand why they had to take that route. And because I've invested 10 plus years with the movie franchise, I will allow them to do that for this film because it is literally the culmination of 10 plus years of work. So you know what, guys, I can eat this one. I get it. I'm gonna ride with you on this, and they didn't disappoint, in my opinion.
All right, Jeremy, how you feeling?
I can give it a solid 9.7.
Why people do 0.5, 0.0, they do the 0.7, yo. So I need to know now. I really want to know what this 0.3. What's the
zero? You might round up at that point.
Yeah, like come on, bro.
No, I can't do it. For the simple fact that I thought the movie itself solid 10 out of 10, but I took that fraction of a point off for certain reasons that we can get into once we go into the spoiler portion of this.
All right, fair enough. As for me, no, you good. Damn. For me, I'll probably give it a solid 7. The reason I can't go higher is we'll touch on it, but yeah, there's just a lot. I would say that without spoilers, this is probably the best way they could have ended the movie, given the
properties to if they would have had every property right years ago, then they could have made this movie like everything because everything would have had its right place and all that other stuff. They did the best of what they had.
Given the universe that they've created with the movies, this is probably one of the best ways, if not the only way they could have ended it. But that's me. 7 out of 10. All right. And now we go into spoiler territory. If you do not want to listen to spoilers, get the fuck out now, because we about to say some ratchet ass shit, possibly. More than likely Zach.
Real out of pocket style.
So who's going first, yo?
Let's go to fucking Jeremy since he wanted to make a weird ass rating first.
Okay, I'm about to say because you already know where Zach's going with this, and I don't know if I want to hear this shit, but go ahead.
I'm gonna tone it back.
Yeah,
no, don't tone it back.
My biases.
Nah,
I got a lot of energy. Nah, because if I use all my energy, we're gonna be here for like 4 hours.
Oh,
I promise you.
Me and Zach had a good talk about it last night in the Discord chat.
A long ass talk. Speaking of Discord, y'all should also check that out. And if I'm doing my job still, link will be in the description for that too. So anyway, yeah, go ahead.
But yeah. So the reason I gave it that weird ass rating, that 0.3% off, the wrong people died. Why they killed Natasha? They didn't have to kill Natasha. I feel so bad that they killed Natasha.
What?
Also, yeah.
They should have killed Hawkeye.
Yeah, they should have killed Hawkeye, man. He was like the absolute most useless character out of all of them.
What?
He was. What the fuck you mean?
Oh.
I mean, if anything, man. Actually, yeah, no, ain't no if anything shit.
Can I take a sidebar real quick? I need y'all to explain to me what her character does aside from be somebody's like potential girlfriend that doesn't happen. What does she do?
She was basically Nick Fury for 5 years, you know.
Right.
With a world that wasn't nothing going on.
I mean,
but she had meetings with all the rest of the Avengers.
She had meetings to just check in. Oh, if anything happens, we'll let you know.
She was coordinating, bro.
She fired that pistol real nice in the trailer.
Oh my god! At the very least, Hawkeye was going out there dispensing his own brand of justice, being the Batman that everybody wish he was.
No, man, he shouldn't have been doing that shit.
I mean, on a moral,
you trying to tell me half the universe's population is gone, and you gonna go out just off and random motherfuckers just because you don't think they should be alive? What kind of shit is that?
He's hurting, bro. He had he out here. He lost his family during like a barbecue, yo. Like, come on, man.
I understand that, but at the same time, bro, if you are an actual superhero like you claim to be with your regular ass, then he's gonna be out
there. She's regular. What you mean?
She is regular, but she's like her intellect is way higher. Like she's ratchet out there doing shit.
Doing what? Like I said, you got to tell me what she does besides being somebody's potential girlfriend and then gets let down.
Bruh, she was quarterbacking out there, man. She was quarterbacking the whole operation.
Quarterbacking what?
Everything. Why you think everybody taking in with her?
Somebody want to help Jeremy out. I'm calling a coach assistants. Somebody want to take this. I need somebody to explain it to me.
Okay, Jeremy, I gotta ask you a question real quick. You said that the wrong people died. Give me your complete list of who should have died in that movie. I need to know the metric we're dealing with here.
So I bet. So Hawkeye obviously is the one I thought should have went. I don't know if Tony should have died. I mean, it makes sense that he died, but I don't know if he should have, because if you actually kept up with the comics, he doesn't die. But I mean, really, Captain America, I don't think should have died at all. I don't think he should have went back in time and died like that. That was stupid as shit. It made sense, obviously, yes, because he get to live his life and whatever. That's supposed to be the end, whatever. But he still shouldn't have died. I mean, you superhuman living for I don't know however many fucking years. How the fuck you? I don't know. Anyway, actually, yeah. So,
he'd be like 100 plus almost.
Yeah. I mean, but what's really
were they 5 years from now, or were they 5 years from?
5 years from, I guess, 2018. Now, whatever.
Yeah, 2018.
I mean, 2023, he'd be damn near 100 at least.
I was on my phone. Who we talking about again? My bad. I was texting.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm saying, who's 100 years old?
I don't know how old Cap was when he joined.
Steve Rogers.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I would think damn near.
Because he was frozen for like 70, right?
Yeah. So he had to be older than 100. Yeah, he was like 150, whatever.
150. Okay.
Oh yeah.
He's a buck. He's a buck something. I won't say 150, but he's a buck something.
So you saying he should have died, Jeremy? That's what you're saying?
I'm saying he shouldn't have died like that. They should have found a better way for him to die if they were gonna kill him off.
He's not dead though.
He means he wishes
he's out of commission, but I want people to know this happened in the comics. Captain America came back. At any point, if they're like, "Hey, we need to pick me up," they're gonna call up Chris Evans and be like, "Hey, we'll pay you $30 million to play Steve Rogers again."
Yeah.
I promise you, they will right their wrongs if they need that. that's probably one of the reasons they kept him alive. Same with Tony. Tony can come back so easy.
He could.
How?
I was reading that they could go the route of or somebody mentioned this, but I think I read it that they could introduce him as an AI, like that
I've said that multiple times. I don't know if I said it to you. I've said it to other people. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, like that he actually, when he got killed in one of the civil wars or something like that, he left behind his consciousness in the form of AI. So essentially, he was there, just not in the flesh.
And he eventually uploaded that to a synthetic body, I believe, like a regular. I think that's what the current Tony Stark is, and that's one of the reasons he acts kind of. I don't know.
He's been brought back to life, but yeah, at a time he was an AI. That's how they introduced Riri Williams.
True.
I kept saying,
my bad. But not good. Yeah, my bad. Yo, I know I caused these little tangents, but yeah, my bad.
Bro, we the king of tangents over here. What you mean?
That is true.
That's okay.
So my question is, how they gonna get him back if RDJ is done? Because this isn't the comic verse. This is the.
They just signed a new contract. That's easy. That's easy work.
Yeah,
and then CGI
$30 million is a lot of money. Okay.
Yeah.
That, and you can honestly, if they go the.
But look how much money they're making. They got the money to pay him.
Yeah.
The other option is, if they go the AI route, they don't even have to make a hologram of him. They could just get a VA to do a simile of his voice and be like, "Hey, there's your Iron Man."
Well, they would still probably have to pay him for his likeness, though.
If they use his likeness at all,
they could pay him just to do some voice acting. I mean,
yeah.
I hear a lot of actors say voice acting is like really, it's really fun, and it's not as hard as regular acting, just because you can focus all on your voice.
True.
That's why animated is a lot better than live action. But so was that everybody you wanted dead, Jeremy?
My list was bigger. I wanted a lot of people dead.
Say what?
Off the top of my head, yeah, that's everybody I wanted dead.
Okay, so as a follow up to that shit, I gotta ask, why are you stressing over two of the least important people out of that entire goddamn team? let's call a duck. Both of them motherfuckers are useless.
So
they fought over killing each other for the solstice.
So
that was sweet. That was cool, but let's be real. Hawkeye hasn't been in how many movies before Endgame?
That's true. But his family situation started us off in this.
That did bring
it gave him a reason to be in the movie, but outside of that,
yeah, there you go.
But again, somebody has to tell me what does Black Widow do? I'm not
defending Black Widow. I'm just saying.
Okay, Hawkeye, I'm about to say she had a Skype call with people and then put her feet up and was talking with Steve. Like, come on.
Well,
she's cool. That's what she is. She's cool. She's got a lot of.
I'll break it down for you.
Character. They kind of even touch on it in the movie. You know, she's kind of a reformed character because Hawkeye used to be like I said Hawkeye. Black Widow used to be like an assassin, all that stuff, and she was very. I don't know.
They also have to.
Widow-y, and now she's all cool and probably how ScarJo wants her to be portrayed.
They also are trying to push her a little bit because her movie is coming up for Phase 4. So
that's definitely probably going to be a past thing there, more than likely.
Yeah,
because she can't come back.
It's probably gonna be an origin story to me
as of right now, which is years too late. But I guess they.
I'm just gonna say it. I don't want a Black Widow movie.
Oh no, I've been said that shit.
I don't understand it. Like, she has been a good auxiliary and support character for other people's movies. I just don't see her being able to carry her own movie. Like, I just don't see it.
I won't say that she can't carry her own movie. I will say that it won't be anything different. It'll just be a fucking female Jason Bourne, honestly. They try to go with her backstory.
The movies she does by herself suck. And it's always like, it either sucks or surrounded in some sort of controversy.
I couldn't even. The only movie I can think of is Lucy, and Lucy was just the kind of movie where I was like, "Hey, I'm eating food and it's on TV. I'm gonna watch it."
The only movie I was personally salty over that she was a lead in was a fucking Ghost in the Shell. I was offended by that goddamn movie.
Yeah, but she was also about to play like a transgender person. Yeah. And they actually have transgender people in Hollywood that could play a transgender person.
Yeah.
Like
that's less her problem and more Hollywood's problem. Like, trust me.
Yeah, like, do we blame her for not turning down a check? That's the real question.
I blame her on the level of that she accepted it. I don't blame her reason for accepting it.
Yeah, you know what? Nah, let me back up because this ain't the podcast for this.
But
So, go ahead.
That'd be a good topic though. Talk about.
Yeah. All right. Jeremy? You got anything else you want to say before we rotate a little bit?
The Hulk angle was trash.
The what angle?
The Hulk.
The Hulk angle was trash. And Carol Danvers was useless.
Hey, you shut your whore mouth with that shit.
Hey, no, she was useless in that fucking movie, and you know it.
Yeah, that's one of my complaints.
We might have to fight, but
yeah, but bruh, like, think about it like this: if everybody was useful, Thanos would not be a threat.
Yeah, that's the point. Because
without the stones,
the problem was she got one shot like that. Everyone else had a fight scene, and I understand
by the power stone. though she didn't die.
Oh,
because she was about to kick his ass, and then he
one-shotted. She got one-shotted by the power stone.
And then okay, hold up, Zach. Come on now. You got Carol Danvers who had to fight Thanos, who shot her ass with a fucking power stone. The conceptual embodiment
out of the fight. You
power.
Literally don't even see her. You literally don't even see her.
The conceptual idea of power made into a physical object hits him.
Thanos has never fought me. I'm so powerful. I'm also powered by Infinity.
Let's put this in context. Let's put this in context though. Let's put this in context though. Without the stone, she fucking held him in full Nelson like fucking Goku did Raditz, and he wasn't able to do shit.
I'm pretty sure she was getting her ass beat, and all she could do was keep him from snapping his fingers.
What? You need to watch the movie again.
Did you not see her just no sell his fucking little headbutt like it was nothing compared to
one little headbutt?
One little smack. One little smack. Okay, hold up.
She comes in. She destroys that ship.
Yeah.
Right. That was her useful moment. That's what she did usefully. She comes in. She puts Thanos in a full Nelson. She doesn't do anything more than anybody else. Scarlet Witch did the most against Thanos.
She did.
I will say you're completely right. You're completely right in that regard. But let's
Captain America didn't do nothing against him with the hammer.
I mean, when he got his ass beat, Captain America got his fucking ass whooped.
Like, okay,
let's whooped ass.
No, he got his ass whooped.
Okay. Oh, let's put something
Everyone
out there,
got
right?
Their fucking fade
yes, everybody got their ass whipped, but let's put this in context. Let's put it in context. Really? Carol got put out of the fight because of a power stone. Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America, two of which had fucking magical hammers on them, got two-pieced by Thanos, who had nothing prior. So let's be real here. A sword, yes, a sword versus a power stone, which is
taking out Captain America's shield. I mean, fuck, even Mjolnir couldn't do that.
I'm gonna.
I mean, I know it's just cinema. Like, I shouldn't dissect it like that. I was just saying.
I wish you would dissect the Predator like this. I really would.
I knew it was
all blockbusters.
Oh my god!
No, it's a little shitty movie. Okay.
Because I'm trying to keep my cool, yo. I'm not trying to let Zach suck me into that, but yeah, you gonna have to explain.
You're bringing up Predator in something
because you gotta explain that shit, man.
Okay. Hold it up. This is Endgame.
Comparing Endgame to Predator. These are not the same movie. They're nowhere even close to the same. I can sit there and like Predator because it's just a little shitty movie.
I'm glad you said it's a shitty movie. Thank you. That makes me
feel better. Okay. We can all agree Predator isn't great. The franchise itself is not that great. Let's be real.
It's just
you coming from nostalgia, Rob. Chill.
I'm talking about the MCU versus how many Predator films are there? This one capped off 22 movies.
Yeah, but you're not going to get 20 some odd Predator movies. Yeah,
exactly.
But you're not going to because it's
just that movie. It's just out there. I just
it doesn't have that many moving parts. It doesn't have that many moving parts to warrant 20 films.
Which lends more. Anyway, enough fucking Predator. Back to Endgame. Fucking no, you're good, bro. You're good. But all right, so outside of everybody's egregious opinion of Carol, because y'all ain't about to disrespect my baby.
I had no issue with Carol. I'm good with Carol.
I just wanted her to do more.
Oh no, I'm right there with you. Like that is my complaint. Like I wanted more Carol there, but I understand why she didn't get as much screen time as I was hoping. Yeah. It was because
my issue with her lack of screen time, and even I guess how she like the tension between her and the other characters, is that I feel like not fanboys, I don't know what to call them, but the people who are anti Brie Larson are going to use that to like take a jab at her acting.
Oh, it's not just anti Brie Larson people; it's anti Captain Marvel people who are comic book fans too.
Yeah,
I used to be anti Captain Marvel till I watched the movie.
Yeah, like and I think that's my biggest thing is that like they like people were picking apart the clip that they released that was from the beginning of the movie, where she's basically like, y'all didn't have me, and like I think we were talking about this in the chat.
She's not lying.
No, she's not. No, she wasn't, and that's the thing. Like, and then here come Rhodey talking about look, we all do the superhero thing. No, not you, Rhodey. You get suits borrowed from Tony. Like
and your legs got paralyzed.
You're the military.
Like, let's be real here. Fucking Rhodey's talking shit, but the moment he actually got into the Avengers type shit, he got paralyzed. He ain't about that life, really.
Yeah, he ain't. That's facts.
And if the Mind Stone could do that, imagine what Carol could do.
I mean, she took out a ship, yo. Like
she took out a fleet in her solo movie. Let's be real. She is the heaviest hitter.
Yeah, she's mean.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying. But anyway,
go ahead, Dave. My bad.
I can't support MCU Thor anymore, so I...
all right.
Rob, it's on you. It's on you. Speak of peace.
So the issue I have with people having an issue with Thor is that you're completely ignoring like the events of Ragnarok leading into Infinity War, leading into Endgame. Thor as a character went through a lot of stuff, like a lot. And
I think you're the one ignoring the events of Ragnarok if you think this caps off that arc.
Oh, let him finish his thought, and then we'll
because all right, look, because you have to, because that's what I even watched part of Infinity War last night. Thor was hanging on by a thread in his mental and emotional state. Go back to the conversation that he had with Rocket. Rocket asked him, "Yo, are you sure you're up for this?" And he's like trying to play it off.
I watched it yesterday too. I know exactly what you're talking about. He was kind of crying. I agree. I saw that. He was like, "Yes, he's never fought me twice with the hammer."
Say that again. Yeah, and then he's going through like basically saying like, "Look, I have to do this because I don't have anything else to lose." And then he actually lost something else. And then when you actually do get your brand of justice that you would look like, it didn't do anything at all. Like, I think that literally was the straw that broke the camel's back. On top of the fact that right before the events of Infinity War, he lost his eye, lost his hammer, lost his father, lost his brother, lost his best friend, lost his home world, and some of the people on that ship. Like, he lost right before this stuff happened, and then still tried to play hero to defeat Thanos, and didn't do the very thing that would have like prevented him from even doing it. And then once you do it, it's too late. Like, that's a lot in a short period of time. You're talking about a matter of at the most a month. At the most.
You're done.
I am done, but like you can't ignore that for his character and then be mad because he's fat and he's just like trying to joke everything off.
Playing Fortnite for 5 fucking years.
But he's depressed. This is what people do. It's just because that
would work for anybody else, like Hawkeye or something like this. We're not talking about Hawkeye. We're talking about a guy who has been fucking killing things and drinking beer, ale, for fucking, what is it, 1,500 years in this?
But he's
playing Fortnite for 5 fucking days.
He's never lost anything of this magnitude. Again, he has literally lost everything.
Yeah, you're trying too hard to justify this garbage.
How?
They did this for one reason. Tell me, they did it for one reason.
What does he have?
The runtime with fat jokes.
But
that's
what all
does he have? Too, with fat jokes.
But you have to tell me, what does he have?
What do you mean? What does he have? He has fucking Asgard. He's the goddamn king. Oh, but no, he's not anymore. Valkyrie's the king.
But who, like, literally, who does he have? Who does he have in his family? Like his close friends? Like who does he have?
He doesn't need his family. He's Thor.
Okay, hold up. I have to chime in a bit.
You're mixing. I think you're mixing your comic view, like who he is in the comics, versus who he is in the MCU. Like Thor in this, like he's always cared about his family, his father, his mother, his brother, even though he keeps like, fucking with him. Like he's always cared about these things. And the more that he matured as a character, the more he cared about the people, the more his responsibility, not just to Asgard, but even to the earth and, this and that and the third. Like, so I just think that it really hit him. That's just me though.
Okay. Just to chime in a bit on this Thor shit. I feel, and I think I've said this before, but I don't know if I said it to either you or Zach, but honestly, I felt like Infinity War actually took steps backwards in regards to Thor's character development after Ragnarok.
I remember you said that. Yeah.
That was my problem. It makes Ragnarok even less. It's just like, bro, what's wrong with y'all?
Because, okay, all the things that you said about Thor's mental state, Rob, is valid. Mm-hmm. But my problem with that is all the development that Thor got from Ragnarok, where he doesn't rely on his hammer, mm-hmm. He develops. He's actually able to channel his power through his own will. Mm-hmm. His fucking confidence that he built off of starting to lead Asgard as king. Mm-hmm. All that from Infinity War onwards was immediately washed away because, okay, one, in Infinity War, Thanos fucking wrecks the majority of his people. He loses he loses his family, the last bit of his family, and his solution, instead of I need to go find my friends, I need to gather resources, is I need a hammer. After he just got done figuring out I don't need a hammer.
Yeah, but I hear you. I do hear you. But think about it, bro. Like, how would you react?
How would you feel if they did this to Captain America or Iron Man?
Well, I would kind of understand. Man, because think about Iron Man. Like, he went into
would you be happy that they did that?
I wouldn't be happy or mad. I would just be like, okay, this is what it is. Because think about it.
What's the difference between Captain America and Iron Man and Thor? Doesn't he have more solo movies than either of them?
Who?
Or he's got Iron 3 solo movies?
Who? Iron Man or Thor?
Solo movies?
No,
how many solo movies does Captain America have?
He technically has
all three have 3 movies.
He technically has three. But
the 3 have 3 movies each.
Yeah, they each have 3. But Cap's movie, Civil War, was definitely an Avengers movie.
Yeah,
let's just be honest about that.
Yeah, true.
Nobody would like it if it happened to one of those 3 characters. So why does it happen to this one?
No, I wouldn't have an issue with it personally. I mean, as long as it pays off in the end, I'm personally okay. Like, but I do hear what you're saying. I hear what Dave is saying.
Still bad and pathetic.
Yeah, I hear what Dave is saying about, like, he took like 2 steps forward and then he took like 3 steps back. I get that. I think because of how quickly it happened, that could be the justifiable reason why he took steps backwards mentally.
Like, okay, here's where I'm at. When it came to Thor and Endgame, the mental breakdown of you go to Thanos, you see the potential light at the end of the tunnel of fixing everything that's that went wrong. I get that. He lost hope because Thanos essentially beat them to the punches, like, I destroyed the Infinity Stones. Mm-hmm. So, but
I got something for you. I just remembered something. Go ahead.
I think it's the fat thing.
Yeah, the fat thing does bother me. It's just how it got to that point. It's like, okay, hope is lost. You're in a state of depression. I can even write off the fact that he went fat. But when hope comes back, and you got your versus what happened in Infinity War, where you didn't have your whole entire squad with you, I would think he would be like, okay, it's time for me to get back to where the fuck I need to be and magic up going back into shape. Him staying fat the entire time and then still kind of being goofy, like he was essentially acting like Ragnarok Thor versus Age of Ultron, Avengers, or any of the other times he's popped up. Like I just wanted serious Thor for the serious moments. And we only got
we still
we yeah, we still got some of that, but it was like a 30-70%. 30 of him being serious, 70 of him being goofy. And I just couldn't
didn't
rock
get
with
enough. Yeah, I don't think he got enough time to really sober up. I mean, I guess I kind of appreciated it because I also feel like personally, because of Infinity War, we were shown that Stormbreaker was definitely enough to deal with Thanos with his Infinity Stones if he got the drop on him.
Well, okay, you said I do.
No, I'm talking about in the movies. I'm not talking about the comics.
In the movies is the way I kind of took that was Thanos was just like toying with them the whole time.
I don't see how, because
in this movie he tells them, he's just kind of like, hey, this is personal.
Well, at this point, yeah, because
that's what I'm saying.
I don't agree with it, but I can see where Zach is coming from because when
the way I took it was he was just kind of like, just kind of messing with them in Infinity War, and then when he's like, oh, this is personal, I'm finna run all y'all's fades at once.
Yeah, but we're talking about two different Thanoses though. Like, because they're like, I definitely saw a difference in the portrayal where like Infinity War Thanos was more like calculated, more chill, and definitely relied on that gauntlet, But when it came to Thor, like he was no match for Stormbreaker, and I think they had to keep Thor fat and kind of out of shape because Thor with Stormbreaker and how do you pronounce that damn hammer's name? Mjolnir. Yeah. Should have been running the train on his ass without any stones, and he was able to like fuck him up.
So you think they kept him fat to nerf him essentially?
That's just me. That was my take. I could be wrong.
Okay.
But I think, because if you calculate like him in shape with not just Stormbreaker, but Mjolnir, oh my God. Just from the movie perspective, I don't see how, because I was actually surprised he was getting his ass whooped. I was like, oh, he's depowered then. So that's how I took
I knew my boy Thanos was about that life.
I don't agree with Zach's take of Thanos playing with him, but I can see where he's coming from with it because even with the Stormbreaker thing back in Infinity War, Thanos was kind of with the shits a little bit. He's like, you should have went for the head. Like with the Infinity Stones, he's not immortal, but he can take more than what people are giving him. At least in the movies.
And see, I mistakenly thought that like he could take damage and heal himself because I misinterpreted the scene.
Would be realistic. I mean, that's just kind of how they wrote it in, I guess, just to keep him from being just unbeatable,
Yeah, like I misinterpreted the scene when they were in nowhere, where Gamora like stabbed him in the neck and seemingly killed him, and then like, oh no, not really, and he comes in like walking through. I just kind of figured he could warp reality so that he doesn't take damage, but
he could in theory. He could in theory.
He could have just snapped his fingers before the axe even got near him. He could have sidestepped the axe. I mean, I just see it as a big
okay, that's fair. Oh yeah, but I told you last week I didn't realize that he was damaged after snapping his fingers. Yeah. I didn't realize that, so I have to take into consideration that the axe damage was probably still there too.
Well, it's also one of those things where it's like because he is very different, so it's like you got to think what would movie Thanos do. So you've only got like those he's got like two,
and that's something, showings. And that is something that I want to bring up real quick. Anybody who watched anyone who read the Infinity War comic event, you have to separate the MCU from that. Yes, Marvel made the MCU officially a part of the multiverse, whatever, but they operate under different rules. Everybody in these movies is significantly weaker than their comic book counterparts. So
Yeah.
so it's just as much as I know Thanos will whoop their asses if this was comic book Thanos, movie Thanos is kind of a joke, though he's still beast in comparison.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Zach, what's your go ahead, go on your rant, bro. I already know you got it.
Well, and you kind of just touched on that. Is what I had to do is I was sitting down with my friends talking about it the other night, and they were like, "Look, bro, like we get it. You're a big Thor comic book fan, like, but you said it yourself. The MCU and the comics just aren't the same. I really do have to keep that same energy though. So that's why I didn't come in here like I was just kind of like, you know what? I thought Fat Thor was lame, but I'm just gonna be like, I realize it's not the Thor that I know and love, so I just got to be like, whatever. It was lame. I'm not gonna go on as big of a tangent for that.
I just said
especially
that,
because we kind of covered
it. I literally just said that in my vent to him, like you're mixing.
I couldn't hear you half the time.
Just literally say you're mixing comic Thor with MCU Thor, and yeah, that's,
no, I wasn't, because MCU Thor. Trust me, you would have known if I was mixing it, because
meaning you wanted
the comics are millions of years old, and I know for a fact he wouldn't do that shit. I just feel like Thor over here, a lot of trauma, and kept rising above it. I just feel like he should have kept doing the same thing.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that one.
That was how I looked at it. I just kind of felt like he should have kept doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And then my biggest problem is like, okay, fat or pathetic, right? But then you did put through both of them in there, and on top of that, he's been playing Fortnite of all things.
I thought that was pretty funny, especially with what's his name, Gorg? What's his name? Korg. Yo, that part was funny to me.
Like, so I was just like, you did all of these. All of those are no-nos for me. Like if you would have done two of them, one of them I would have been okay. But you did all of them.
What game would you have rather him been playing?
I've literally just been sitting there in silence drinking. I would have rather just been doing that.
He was living his best fat life, man. What you want?
Was he though? I mean, his cable was fucking out. He couldn't get the Wi-Fi to work. Like, come on. That wasn't living the best life. Plus, they live in a portside city where more than likely everybody smells like fish.
He wasn't being a good king at all. He didn't care.
Apparently,
I will say, okay. Speaking of Valkyrie, can we all just praise the Lord that she came back with her fine ass?
I guess. I'm all right. I'm probably gonna sound like the bane of existence from all black people, but I'm not really like she's not unattractive, but like I'm not like, oh my god, Tessa Thompson. Like it's just like, oh, okay, she cool.
No, I get that. I mean, I'm comparing it, and I'm saying it compared to every other female in the MCU. Like
I'm glad that she's alive. I'm glad that she's alive.
Okay.
But it does create a
snap, right? It was implied she died in the snap.
No,
I can't remember.
No, she was alive after the snap.
Yeah, she was alive after the snap.
Before he went in. Yeah, I remember now. She's the one who told them. She's like, he only comes out for beer every couple of months.
I got a question though, because I felt like that was a big ass plot hole. Where the fuck were these people in Infinity War?
That's what I was about to say. Maybe they took separate ships, bro.
No, they were all in the one ship at end of Ragnarok.
I was trying.
No, because that was something I was always pissed about at Infinity War.
Or am I tripping? Wasn't it some escape pods got away?
Maybe
they didn't. They didn't say shit. They didn't say shit about no.
I gotta go. I'm gonna say I may have to go back to the beginning. I don't know.
I remember he blew up that ship with the Power Stone, and Thor was alive.
Like Thanos legit said his people are dead. So that implied to me that everybody except the last
killed
couple
half of them, because that's kind of his thing.
True. Man, I don't know, man.
I don't know. Maybe he killed half of them and was just like jettison the rest. He's like, go on.
Man, that's definitely a plot hole worth talking about.
Yeah.
I can
we could talk about that at a later date. Or you can join us for that potential conversation at the All Nerd Everything on Facebook. Check that out when you get the chance. Anyway. Okay, another aspect of this goddamn movie: time travel. How do y'all feel about that shit?
All right, I'm gonna
Wait,
take the lead.
is fucking Jeremy on this? Jeremy,
He's still here.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
still here.
Okay.
Yeah. So time travel, man. I like I like the way they explain me. It. I didn't like the fact that they used the PIM particles like that. That threw me off. I feel like they could have went back, got a time stone, and then went around and collected the rest of them that way. Seemed like it would have been a simpler solution. I mean, it would have been a simpler solution than having to worry about exactly how many PIM particles you got and.
But who's going to use it?
The same person that took all of them back the first time, Captain America.
No, I mean, like,
who's actually going to use the time stone?
Yeah, like, because the way that, like, what's his name? You know what I'm talking about?
Strange.
Yeah, the way Strange uses it is kind of like.
That was one of my problems, and I couldn't find it. It used to be on Netflix, but it's not anymore, so I couldn't rewatch it. But I could swear time travel in Doctor Strange worked completely differently.
I don't know.
Can't remember though.
I don't know if he went forward. He didn't go forward. He only
kept rewinding.
Yeah, he kept rewinding, and then he was looping something.
And I keep hearing people mention that. I don't think, and I could be remembering wrong, but I don't think they were talking about time travel in the Solo movie. They were talking about the multiverse.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
So I don't know, but
go ahead, Jim. My bad.
Yeah, sorry, bro.
No, you good. No, you good. That's really all I had to say about time travel. I mean, I understand why they did time travel the way they did it. You had to give everybody their own character exploration as far
spotlight.
as yeah, everybody had to have their spotlight. So, I mean, it made sense. It made sense to me, at least anyway. I know it didn't make sense to everybody, but it definitely makes sense to me.
If for me, I'm cool with it. I just think people have to leave room for things to not be finite in terms of like explanations and such. Like the way I thought about it is Tony was like the A+ student that understood some aspects of time travel and going into the quantum realm, and Bruce was a C+ student.
He was the George Bush.
Yeah, like no, I mean because he he was doing like his best educated guesses. I mean, it's not to say that he's not smart, but that's not particular, because they even said like, all right, we got to go with our next best option, which is Bruce. And Bruce was making some mistakes and stuff. So I think we can't hold on to statements from people and have to allow for like them to at least in the future go back and like revisit like consequences of whatever their actions were, because they can fear like everything that they're saying aside from going in and coming back was on theory. Like they're stating these things on theory, like yes, in theory we should be able to go back and nothing remain unchanged for us and stuff like that. But in terms of a movie of this magnitude and all these moving parts, you have to leave room for something to happen where they're proven wrong, because nothing is, try not to make it so finite with that. And I think we have to leave them room with that
same energy about everything else.
You said, but it depends, because with this, it's like, again, like you're going with the C student making the statements. You see what I'm saying? The one that was actually making some mistakes with even bringing back what's his name, Ant-Man, had him as a baby, had him as an old man. Like,
okay, I gotta ask you something then.
It's not just what Bruce said. The movie itself proves what Bruce said, right?
Yeah, like multiple things that Bruce Banner and the mentor, I forget what the fuck her name is, but Doctor Strange. One. Yeah, the ancient one. They both said the exact same thing. So for them to but yeah, so
yeah, but we have to wait. We have to wait for the consequences to actually happen. Like
said it's instantaneous.
Yeah, but you still like, if there's more Marvel movies to be made, which there is, we have to wait and see how this stuff turns out. We have to potentially find out what exactly did Cap do, how exactly did he end up in that spot. Like these things are not going to be answered right now, and
but
we just
wouldn't keep that energy for everything else. We'd just be like, bro, why is this unexplained? Why is that unexplained? What is this?
Well, we don't, because we don't always have the
Hey,
hope for more movies, though. But in this case, we do. We know there's a phase 4 in play. So we know there's something that's going to come along that could potentially explain this stuff. With everything else, we don't always get that.
Okay, but here's my problem. And this is just with the entire time travel concept as Endgame introduced it. Bruce Banner, aka Hulk, he pretty much told them straight up, like, look, this is not my field of study. Yeah. I study gamma radiation. Mm-hmm. My question to that is, what the fuck does Tony Stark study? Because isn't he just engineering? So how the fuck does he understand time travel, let alone PIM particles?
Look, that's why I said, because
he's a genius.
Yeah, so is Bruce Banner.
But also understand, they've established this from the first Avengers movie. Like, Tony can look at anything and then like almost instantly understand it. He did it when he was looking at Bruce's work on.
Yeah, I don't deny in the MCU they definitely portrayed Tony as being way smarter than Bruce. I know Bruce helped when it came to making vision, but I just feel like Tony's way smarter. That doesn't bother me. I was just saying,
it bothers me.
Just where if they would have had all of their properties, that would have been like Mr. Fantastic.
But see, and Tony, like, and which is consistent. Tony does his best work under, like, when he's faced with a problem in every single movie, he is forced to come up with a solution that's never happened before by trying stuff out. Like, it's very consistent with the character in the movies.
Yeah.
So, like, but they've established this with him, like, pretty much since what pretty much since the first one, going into the second one, where he had to create that new energy source, and then by the first Avengers movie, he's creating an energy source sustainable that like that takes away from how they do electricity and all this stuff, and it just keeps going on and on and on for him.
Okay, but this is my problem with Tony Stark as a character in the MCU, though. Mm-hmm. By making him the MacGuffin, omni intelligent motherfucker that they pretty much portray him as, you then run into the problem when they go into phase 4 of who the fuck is going to solve these problems? Because they say that, but I feel like that's not going to be the case. Like, they kind of gave that throwaway line of Shuri is more than likely smarter than fucking Tony Stark, but at the same time, it's just like, but is she going to be an Avenger? Is she going to be an Avenger? Is she going to be their main supplier of tech? Like, Wakanda's opened up their borders.
I think so. Yeah, I'm saying you just answered your own question.
Tony is a science guy, and like he obviously knows physics very well if he's an engineer, right?
Right.
Yeah. Quantum mechanics, stuff like that. I would see that being more in his realm as opposed to Bruce Banner studies a lot of biological stuff. See that being more in his realm than what Bruce Banner's.
But in regards to PIM particles specifically, okay, the entire time travel concept in Endgame makes no sense to me. No, he's a thief.
I thought they said he was an electrical engineer.
Who? I'm sorry, I had to mute.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. He's an electrical engineer.
No, he was a fucking thief.
He's a thief.
I'm promise y'all, watch Ant-Man. He's an electrical engineer.
Maybe he was an electrical engineer that's a thief, but he definitely got put away in jail.
No, he's a thief. I'm just saying, like, he has the discipline. Like, he has like a master's or something in electrical engineering.
Because he was trying to do his own business, right?
Yeah, security.
That's one of the reasons. Like, they didn't just give anybody this suit just because he's a good,
He stole the suit though, didn't he? I didn't see the first Ant-Man movie because it was.
I got to go back and watch it. What? It was pretty good.
I don't like Ant-Man. Like, Ant-Man is just. Ant-Man is one of those characters, be it comic books, cartoons, or movies, I will never watch or pay attention to because fuck that shit. I only saw Ant-Man.
That's why they made Scott Lang.
I still don't like it. I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I did not like the fucking Scott Lang character either. I don't like Ant-Man.
Ant-Man and the Wasp was meh for me, but I actually liked Ant-Man.
I like Wasp. Wasp was cool.
I like the movie.
But anyway,
it was entertaining. Like, it's one of my mediocre Marvel movies for me.
But anyway, I can't see how Scott Lang came. Like, okay, no, actually, I do kind of see where his line of logic came from with the idea of time travel. But at the same time, I feel like it's still misplaced that he was the one who brought up the idea. If fucking Mr. Super Genius of the universe, Tony Stark, came up with time travel. Like,
yeah, that was my problem. Is it took him 5 years to be like, hey, time travel.
And then what makes
wait, you said who it came up?
Scott Lang came up with the idea of time travel.
I'm saying none of them in 5 years, none of them were just like, hey, let's
well, because Scott Lang was the key, because he's the one that came in and put the idea in people's head. Like, it's possible through what he had to tell them, like, time is different there, and we can maybe use time in the quantum realm to, kind of find our way back. Like, nobody thought of that because nobody knew it was even an option.
Okay, you're right. I see that.
Right. I hear what you're saying, but okay.
But I'm not trying to hear all that.
that is true. That is definitely part of what I'm saying. But it's also
and they reiterated that he only, like, in his time, he only spent 5 hours, but he came out, it was 5 years later. And
I get that. That's why I say I understand where Scott Lang got his line of logic for you thinking of time travel. My thing is the way the MCU presented Tony Stark, like, this motherfucker used the Mind Stone to help create fucking Ultron, and therefore, did Ultron make Vision in this movie or in this universe?
Jarvis the Mind Stone, Ultron, and Thor made Vision.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, you got Tony Stark, Mr. Super Genius himself, comes up with the idea of, hey, I'm going to use the Mind Stone to fucking create a super robot who will defend the universe or the planet or whatever. Then you have, like, the way the MCU presents him, Tony Stark should be thinking of every fucking thing, regardless of what the fucking reason is.
Oh, yes.
He was like, bro, I'm not I got a family.
Yes.
I'm not doing that.
Thank you, Zach.
Fuck that family shit. I don't care about them.
He was like, bro,
he was on his deathbed, and he came back for the brink. And he was the one that was like, they was like, yo, let's go run Thanos' fade. He was like, no, we're not. Like, he wasn't for it. And once he turned his back on stuff, he left it alone. And it wasn't until they put the bug in his ear, he started thinking about it again.
Okay. I think I'm just really irritated at the fact that, okay, he introduced, because fucking Ant-Man was a thing in Civil War. You see a motherfucker grow super big, super small, whatever, and you don't think, hey, I wonder what I could do with pin particles if I got my hands on it. You mean to tell me
he was interested?
He was interested enough to get fucking Spider-Man a suit to help him with his spider sense.
Look, Spider-Man caught a moving car at like 40 miles an hour. I'd be interested in that kid too.
Okay.
No way.
and they was kind of treating Scott with a mild neglect. It was like, you're useful, and he was on Cap's team at that, though. So that was another. He wasn't fucking with that.
I'm just saying, Iron Man should have got snapped away.
I mean, but you gotta give Tony some.
I don't gotta give him shit
because it's not until he's presented with a problem that he finds a solution. Like, go back to Iron Man 2. Like, he was being killed by his original
another trash
creation,
movie,
to keep him alive. And it's not until what's his name, Nick Fury, shows him like the blueprints or whatever his dad was working on, that he's like, yeah, your dad, pretty much left this to you. And he's like, what? And then, comes the energy source. He found a new electron or some shit like that. What was it, Zach?
Vibranium he was using. I really don't remember.
It was vibranium.
Yeah, but he found a new source of energy that not only sustained his
which
Iron
Wakanda was already using. Just saying.
Yeah, but yeah, he essentially did whatever he had to do, and but it's not until he's challenged. He wasn't challenged yet. Like, he wasn't given a personal challenge to be like, all right, I got to fix this. I got to figure this out.
Yeah, I get what he's saying. Tony doesn't always do stuff unless he's got the itch, and I guess he didn't have the time travel itch.
Yeah, because no one even thought of that. They were only relying on the stones. And once the stones were gone, no one else even thought of time travel before that.
I'm bullshit. Okay, I'll call bullshit on that right now. You got people in the real world, scientists in the real world right now, trying to think of ways of how time travel can be a possible.
We also
thing.
don't have people that can shrink themselves and take themselves to the quantum realm.
I'm just saying. You mean to tell me some basic bitch ass scientists? Sorry, all scientists who are out there, but you got some basic bitch ass scientists trying to think of, okay, how could time travel theoretically work? You mean to tell me Tony Stark's potentially omnipotent ass in the MCU can't think of that for 1 second? Fuck that shit.
I guess
it just didn't have the itch.
I guess.
Did they have?
Hold up, Jeremy. What you say?
It's plot. That's simple.
Yeah, it's just
okay.
Like,
well, I mean, but it has to also be consistent with his character in the MCU.
Okay. Long story short, Tony Stark should have been finger snapped away. I'm just saying that right now. Fuck that shit.
Well, he kind of was.
Hey, do they have?
It was just his fingers that snapped.
Yeah.
He should have turned into dust and not Spider-Man. I'm just saying that right now. Fuck.
And he would have been even more useless. What would he would have done in his teenage
you shut your whore mouth. You do not disrespect my precious child like that.
Here's something I thought about. This is my problem with the time travel angle, is because you know how they all kept going back in the past to like different Avengers movies and events. I would have actually liked to have seen, and like this is just random, but I would have liked if maybe they would have killed the older Avengers in Infinity War, and we would have got newer guys like Spider-Man, T'Challa.
If they would have killed
and all these other guys.
I mean, who would have did the killing?
In Infinity War, I'm saying that those would have been the guys that disappeared, and it would have been left up to the newer guys to actually bring them back.
So that would mean that somebody would have to go back and tell them.
Like that goes back to like an Infinity War thing, because I didn't know how they were going to go with this. But when they went like the way they went with this angle, I was just saying it would have been cool.
Oh, I think I see what you're saying.
These guys going through, like, if you would have seen like Black Panther and Spider-Man during like the events of the first Avengers movie.
I see.
I was just saying, like, that would have been cool.
Instead of, but all right, I hear you from a creative standpoint. But think about it like this: they
should have done that instead. I was just saying I would have liked that.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, then yeah, I'll stand down. No, because he's basically saying he would have liked it. He's not saying he has an issue them going back and like to the older.
Because I still liked how they did this. Like, one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when Cap gets on that elevator.
Yeah. That was a good scene. That was a good scene.
I was thinking he was going to run all their fades, but I
thought that's what I originally thought he was going to do.
And he said, "Hail Hydra." I was like, "Oh, it's kind of cheeky because."
Speaking of which,
it goes back to comics actually, but there's this whole thing where Captain America was actually a Hydra agent.
Exactly.
Yeah, and people were fucking heated about that.
He did that. I was like, okay.
Yeah, me and Grady was talking about that. We was like, yo, like that was, I like how they did that. That was cute.
That was funny.
And they was just like, oh, all right.
Like, Hail Hydra, good sir.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Civil. Was it Civil War?
Yeah,
Winter Soldier. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be Winter Soldier all over again. I thought he was about to run them fades again.
Hey, you saw how they were sweating too. They like, oh shit, here we go.
They was prepping. They had the gun drawn. Was about to draw the guns and everything.
Yeah, it felt like it almost seemed like their future self was like, hey, this is about to be a problem. Y'all might want to get out of the fucking elevator. Like they souls from the future is like, hey, bro, y'all about to get your ass knocked out. Just grit your teeth real quick.
Nah, that was cute. That was a creative thing that they did. I was like, okay, I see you. All right.
The America's ass, that made me laugh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was funny for me.
It was funny.
Whatever. And then when he knocked out the other one and his ass was just sticking out in the air, and when he looks over, that is America's ass. I was like, you damn right. Pat yourself on the back.
Hey, speaking of which, there was somebody in the theater when I was watching the movie, and I heard this girl straight up say, his ass is looking kind of juicy. I'm like, wait, what?
I am not commenting on another man's ass on podcast.
Toxic
America's ass.
Exactly.
Toxic. That's toxic.
Toxic masculinity.
I guess. Okay. So you know what? No. So you know what? Since that's toxic masculinity, why don't you guys give me your takes on his ass?
It could be bigger.
That's America's ass. That's America's ass.
It's America's ass. It's big, fat, round, and juicy, like how we all thought it would be.
Oh man.
All right, Zach took it a little too far.
I hope somebody cringed at this moment.
Hey, you asked the question, so it's your fault.
I asked a question because y'all acting like there's something wrong with me, but not wanting to talk about another man's ass. But
I'm just
saying,
nothing
wrong with like an obviously attractive person like Chris Evans has been like, hey, that's America's ass.
So we're talking about an attractive ass now. Wow. Okay.
You expect me to say Chris Evans isn't attractive?
No, I don't. I wouldn't. All right. So, though I would never talk about another man's ass.
The other day when I said I thought Michael Ealy was fine as hell, but
who said that?
What? Pause. Right there. Stop. Cut it. Jeremy feel attacked, yo. The light skin in him is jelly right now. Skelly is jelly.
Oh my god.
Real nephew? That's how you feel?
I said he's beautiful or something like that. I didn't say he's fine as
Oh my god. Okay. Hey, random question that just popped in my head. What were your theories in regards to Endgame before it came out?
It just wasn't a good segue.
Pew, pew,
I don't give a fuck.
Like honestly, the beginning shocked me because once Thanos was like, I destroyed the stones and they ran him to fade. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm lost now. I don't know what, because I thought he would still like have the stones or something like that. But I really wasn't sure how that was going to play out. Like I remember the cartoon did some things where they kind of jumped him and, like he was doing things a certain way, I guess kept it cute for kids on TV. But yeah, I wasn't sure what he was going to do.
Mm.
I really wasn't sure.
Something different, personally.
Yeah, I had my thoughts were it was gonna be the on the mission to get the Infinity Gauntlet from Thanos. A lot of people were gonna die. They were gonna eventually get the gauntlet, but because it was damaged from Infinity War, that it wasn't gonna be able to fix everything. It was just gonna only fix like some of the shit. And that would have changed the complete dynamic of the fucking MCU afterwards. Like, I was expecting Iron Man and Captain America to be dead. I was especially hoping for Ant-Man to die.
Mm-hmm.
But I was mainly wanting Iron Man to die because
I did theorize that either Cap or Tony would die. I did not, and I gave my reasons for both, but I can't remember what I said for Tony. But I don't think it was like adding up like what I said for Tony and exactly what happened.
Okay. Since we're on the hour mark, what did y'all think about the final scene or the final the third act of the movie?
What part?
Starting with the final battle.
Oh, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, like that was whew. That's what that
honestly I was on a roller coaster.
Like it really, that's what made the long middle worth it. Like I was about to burst out in tears when at the part where Cap was looking like he was about to get that fade run all the way through, and the portals opened up and everything. I almost lost it in that theater. It was so impactful, yo. Like
Speaking of that moment, okay, so when the portals open up after Iron Man did his own figure snap and shit, and you see all the people come in, and then you see fucking Captain America about to say Avengers Assemble. My entire theater just screamed that shit. But then when I actually listened to him say it, it was a whisper. I'm like, motherfucker, you're supposed to match our energy right now. We screamed Avengers Assemble.
He just got his ass whooped though, bro.
I don't give a fuck. Your energy is supposed to match the audience at that point.
Like he caught the fade and half his shield is like cut, bro. Like,
hey, I don't care. Like, if you were in my theater, you would have heard everybody screaming, Avengers Assemble! But this motherfucker's like, Avengers Assemble. I'm like, bruh, come on now. You fucking up my entire vibe right now.
Nah, man. I will say, I think I feel for Hulk fans though, because I do. No,
I'm mad. Imagine if you were a Hulk fan. Bro.
Yeah, I feel for Hulk fans because
I have no mercy
wanted
for
to
them.
see him. I wanted to see him kind of run a fade, and he didn't do that. It was like, okay, you know, but like if you're like a hardcore Hulk fan, 'cause I remember our mom was basically saying like MCU Hulk is like really trash, and I have to. I didn't want to agree with him, but now I have to agree.
You know what? I like how they did Hulk because now we can say forevermore, Hulk got that L from Thanos. There will not be a round 2. Fuck all y'all.
Yeah, he gave him the hands. He gave him some hands, yo.
And I know
I have a
motherfuckers.
question.
Yo, what's up?
So just from because you guys read more comics than I do, and for the movie for me was awesome. I did give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Okay, pause
But-
real quick. This is John from the Bromigos, and what's your Twitch so everybody know?
You guys can hit me up at Majin Prism Power, twitch.com/Majin Prism Power. You guys can always find me there hanging out. I am the rookie in these conversations when it comes to comics. So anime is more of my thing, but I did love the movie. But I had one question listening to you guys because you guys brought up the Hulk, and there was also a Reddit forum about how the MCU Hulk is about 10% of what the actual Hulk is capable of doing. And I know with people like DKT and Rob who are really into comics, what's your
Zach
overall opinion?
Exactly.
What Zach? Yeah, but you guys feel that the Hulk, and I see this happen in other series where somebody is portrayed down from their book counterpart, so they don't take up too much of the action, or they don't become the dependent protagonist in every I guess scene or movie. Like, oh shit, we're losing, but we're kind of waiting for the Hulk to show up. Do you think that played a little bit into it, or maybe the fact that they didn't have all of the rights to the Hulk at that time when they were kind of putting this whole entire timeline together up into this last phase?
They had to play him down. I think they had to play him down.
Yeah, but I'll say as far as Thanos, no, they didn't have to play him down at all. Thanos is the one who's played down. When I keep telling y'all he is about that life, okay?
I mean,
Hulk is not shit to him at all.
He's the one that killed Rhodey.
Okay, I'll put it like
Hulk is not
this.
shit to Thanos, so I'm not surprised at that. But yeah, they be disrespecting Hulk in the MCU straight.
I'll put it like
he has
this.
a healing factor and like a major one, like that gauntlet. Even if it would have crippled him, bro, he would have been fine.
Yeah.
Hulk, I said Hulk. Fucking Hulk is watered down in the MCU, but in comparison to Thanos, it's about par for the course. Like, he is not Hulk. As strong as Hulk is, a lot of that strength is theoretical. It's not actually proven. Like, yeah, he's got maybe 3 moments. He's got 3 moments.
Goku always breaking his limit, and Superman being limitless, and all that other shit. It's all theoretical, right? So Hulk, like, theoretically is infinite rage, and he has wings, but it's just not like.
So hey, peep game.
Like,
Something that I actually do remember about the Secret Wars because I actually read that long time ago.
Mhm.
Thor and Thanos. I mean, not Thor and Thanos. Fucking Hulk and Thanos they rent that round, and Hulk was giving them the business. If y'all don't remember, they were standing on a little like a little cliff looking thing, like in space.
Was it a clone of Thanos though?
Nah, it was Thanos.
I know it was some iteration. It was like a clone of him or something like that. Somebody.
I mean,
it was like the first
when
war, and
we gas up Thanos, but yeah, he's got L's to his name. It's just more times than not, Thanos is running the fade on every Avenger.
Didn't Drax recently kill him by like sneaking him?
Well, okay.
Gamora
Drax
did.
Literally. No, yeah, Gamora had the Power Stone recently, but it's kind of hinted he wanted her to do that because he's about to come back in a more powerful body. So recently he has a death, but it's kind of hinted he planned that. Drax killed him one time, but Drax is literally Thanos' kryptonite. Like that's Drax is very.
It's comics are weird and
comics in the movies. Drax is completely different from comic. Not even worth making.
Drax that I see in the movies reminds me more of a comedic release.
No, completely different characters. Drax in the comics originally, we're talking a guy that like crushes stars with his bare hands. Yeah, like they're just they're portrayed differently. They're completely different.
Hell, even Drax kind of looks like Thanos in his comic version, as far as how his face looks.
A little bit, yeah.
I'll drop it in Discord. Yeah, he's green instead of purple, but that head shape.
I get you.
He does kind of look like him.
That's because Drax's daddy made him specifically to kill him.
Secret Wars where you talk about
Thanos' daddy. Thanos' father made Drax specifically to kill Thanos.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
I'll take your word for it.
I was about to say, I can't confirm or deny
I ain't
that.
got no choice but to take their words for it.
Like, I'm gonna be real. Guardians of the Galaxy is not my lane because they were never interesting to me in the comics, so I barely know enough about them outside of Gamora.
Yeah.
Like
I
Gamora,
didn't know about Guardians of the Galaxy. They had talked about the movie. Like,
yeah, that's
that's
a lot of people actually, even comic book readers. Guardians of the Galaxy was unpopular as shit.
What's next though?
Well,
they actually changed it up. They've got a new Guardians of the Galaxy roster, and I kind of think that's the direction they're taking it in the movies.
Possibly.
Comic, and they have Beta Ray Bill in the comics, but I think they're just going to Beta Ray Bill for Thor.
Beta Ray.
Yeah, bro. He was giving hands, bro. And he
did somebody just like nut at the name of Beta Ray? Like, what the fuck just happened?
Leave me alone.
But
no. because the reason why like I always forget his name, but his like image is always in my head. Like think about like, yo, the other dude that be doing the hammer. And like Beta Ray Bill, yes, him. I always forget his name, right? So the fact that like he said it and I knew who he was, yeah. All right, thank you.
Just think sports space horse Thor. That's how
basically.
I always remember.
Yeah, basically.
He's a Corbinite, damn it.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, the only Thor I acknowledge is Jane Foster. I don't give a fuck about Odin's son.
You were cutting out. You said the only Thor you care about is who?
The only Thor I recognize is Jane Foster.
Oh my god!
Come on, man. You sound like me with Black Widow right now.
Have you not read?
John, did you hear that shit? This man Jeremy's willing to die on the hill of they shouldn't have killed Black Widow, bro.
We are not bringing this back up.
How you gonna start us off with that though, bro?
Hey, that was a good.
So this man watched 3 hours and 1 minute of the Avengers Endgame. Came to the conclusion. 3 hours and 1 whole minute, and that's what you came up with.
Oh my god!
Nah. Peep this. He gave it a rating of 9.7 and took off 0.3 because she died.
Hey, so she ain't even that fine. And on top of that, that scene was actually kind of piss poorly acted. She could have put a little bit more effort into that. It's almost
don't like fighting each other to kill each other.
I know.
But then who would have gave the who would?
Okay, so hold up.
Kept doing it. Just let her do one or the other. Didn't she originally? What'd she do to him originally to keep him from stopping her?
Tased him.
Yeah, just keep it at that. Don't. He shoots the little thing, and then she does a thing, and he does a thing, and she does a thing, and she finally dies.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of which, though, because I just thought about this. I don't like how they treat the fucking Soul Stone in this movie or in the MCU at all.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's a bit rough, bro. Yeah.
No, I'm trying to remember how the Soul Stone is treated in the comics because I think that is like actually the better.
It's literally like a heaven.
Yeah, it's a fucking sub dimension where anyone who dies using it is fucking put into or some shit. But
or anyone who dies by the gauntlet or the stone.
Yeah.
Put into it.
But the price to get it is not fucking somebody's got to die. Like, come on now.
But I think that they may go that route though, because think about it. Like look at the imagery. Like I was looking at this yesterday.
I think they're gonna bring back everybody who died with it eventually. That's what probably Adam Warlock's gonna do.
Everybody keeps wanting a goddamn Warlock there. I don't care about
almost
them.
Like their soul. It's almost like their soul goes up into the clouds because you see that thing of energy that goes up through those little like goalpost looking things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. and then it goes into the clouds. And then there's like a white light, and then they wake up, and then like the soul stone is glowing. It's almost like that soul is in that stone. That's how I take it.
Gotcha.
And because there's got to be a reason you can't just bring
one
back
burning question that I've been wanting to ask every one of you since I've been trying to get home to get on this podcast.
So,
do you guys overall think that the fact that Fox was not with Disney at the time this entire timeline was being put together, do you think that it would have done better if they would have been able to have like the Fantastic Four make their appearance part of the war,
10 times
had touched on the Council of Steves and different things like that? Because I feel like from what I was reading, they played a more bigger part into this overall Endgame war than what the MCU was able to portray for a movie.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, Mr. Fantastic is like, people don't know about him; they just know the rubber thing. But he's like the smartest dude in the fucking omniverse.
Reed Richards.
Reed Richards is stupid
Counselor
smart,
Reed.
right? So that would have been Reed they were going to about time travel.
Yeah, that
would have been him.
Reed Richards.
Oh, but but it's easy. They could really they could use this as a way to introducing those characters now, like somebody tampering with the with time and quantum realm shit.
To answer John's question though, I thought about it. Honestly, no, I don't think it would have made the movie better, and this is the reason why. It's mainly because not of the storytelling aspect of it, but because of the Hollywood aspect of it. You have too much star power in one screen. People are going to be fighting to try to get their fucking spotlight time. Like I've said it before.
Final battle would have been better though.
Maybe.
It may have been too many moving parts.
Because
I was also thinking that
off the fact just made more battles.
But hold on, it's too many. It was so many people.
John, say what you were about to say.
I was just thinking from a long-standing standpoint, because it's a real life movie versus a cartoon, that maybe that would have been too much for the audience to absorb. Like, how do you phantom from a real standpoint? Even with movie magic, you have to figure out Captain America's importance to Iron Man's importance to Thor's importance to Doctor Strange. It's just so many iconic superheroes that would have been there at one time period. If they would have done the true, I guess, Gauntlet or the true Infinity War the way it was portrayed in the comics, I mean, you would have had to bring in so many different people.
The reason comics get away with that is because they get crossovers, so everybody's got like their own tie-in issue to that. So everyone's getting their fame. That would be the problem with the movie. You couldn't put absolutely everyone.
Because I always like the idea that maybe they could have went further with the Infinity. Well, go ahead, Rob, because I feel like you'll end up touching on what I want to touch on after that.
No, go ahead. I'm good.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I was thinking after I left the movie, like, looking back at how the comics were set up, like, man, maybe the next part could have been the Infinity War itself, portrayed through different movies, because so many people during that entire war in the comics had got their hands on the gauntlet to try to redo what Thanos did. I mean, even at one point, his daughter had got her hands on the gauntlet, and then the Celestials had got involved, and they could. So I was like, man, that would have been kind of cool instead of just having this one Endgame. That the next phase would have been the literal Infinity War, where maybe you could have introduced all of the other heroes in their own moments throughout 3 to 5 movies or so. But that was something I was thinking of in the long run.
Yeah, I think that they're setting up for like something beyond Phase 4. They don't have a Phase 5 currently, right?
No, they plan it by phase.
Yeah. So I think, especially with the acquisition of Fox, that we're going to get some next level stuff, and
not for at least the next 5 years.
Yeah, no, I mean you gotta lead up to it, but I think and Marvel's good for planning. Like hats off to them. I said this in one of the chats I was in. Basically, like you have to take your hat off to them for having a plan and following through with that plan. Like they really. Like if the Marvel Studios should get a Lifetime Achievement Award for it. I mean that's just me, but like to answer John's question, like I just think it would have been too many moving parts, and it would have just got a little more difficult because I think they handled it the best way they could. Like I imagine when I saw the scene when the portals open. What I actually imagined was like, what if they had all the rights to like all of the different heroes? This is kind of what it would look like, sorta. Instead of less minion soldiers or whatever, it would have been more like hero stuff. But then again, you had to pay them people, and it just gets a little more complicated when you're dealing with salaries, personalities, and and then it would have. Yeah, and then it would have took longer to kind of get to, because 10 years is a very long time to have a series of movies to end up at one point,
and we only had like what 10 12 characters that we had to focus on before we got to this point.
So they would have been working in overdrive, and then they probably could have product overall. because one thing about Marvel that I think people like don't acknowledge is that the film started off poorly and they corrected it along the way. Arguably, where they messed up at was probably like Thor, like the second Thor movie that was horrible.
Bro, I've never
wasn't Iron Man 2 pretty
other
bad
than that
too?
one.
What do you say, John?
Didn't Iron Man 2 get panned pretty badly? If I remember, I think I was in high school when that was coming out.
It was terrible.
I remember Iron Man 2.
You said Iron Man. Iron Man was the movie that put it on the map. Because
not the first. I'll talk about the second one, Iron Man 2.
Yeah, the second one didn't, because it was kind of like, and
they
definitely
were all terrible.
The first,
because they had that issue with between who was going to replace what's his name,
War Machine, Rhodey,
Terrence Howard and Don Cheadle.
Terrence Howard. Yeah.
But like, they weren't always like blockbuster hits, basically. So, for them to, get to this point, I mean, think about if you would have had more characters and story arcs. And,
like, I'll give you the best example of how more characters could change things dramatically. Civil War. If the movies followed the comic book version of things, the entire narrative of the story would change. It wouldn't be about Iron Man, Bucky and Captain America. It would be about the entire dynamic of the superhero community. It would not be this little personal ass, petty ass story. It would be, okay, this is the world's governments deciding how
which is X-Men all over again, but go ahead.
I mean, yeah, kind of, but it's just.
You want to concede that point, but it is though.
No, it's just like Civil War to me was a great missed opportunity, and why I shifted my idea from I'm tired of seeing live action superhero to animated superhero, because it's like you can never bring the same energy to live action from comics that you could with animated. Because one, you don't have to worry about actors' egos. You don't have to worry about Hollywood fucking up your artistic vision of everything.
Ooh, rest in peace, DC movie continuity. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, pretty much if the MCU started off animated, I personally think the shit would have been fire. I mean, yeah, the movies are cool and all, but yeah, just look at Spider-Verse. That shit was fire in comparison to this shit.
Yeah,
but that was Sony's shit.
Yeah, but that was for people who had love for fucking Marvel and Spider-Man, and they made that shit. This is kind of MCU's biggest fucking thing is a lot of their movies are samey as fuck. So I don't know,
what?
Samey, like they all pretty much play to the same formula. Like a lot of jokes, campiness,
and you've been saying that.
Yeah, it's just, and it's good for what it is. I mean, they got to this point and they're still making fucking money off of it. But at the same time, it's like you're not gonna survive the next era if you're gonna continue doing this shit. Like, there's already superhero movie fatigue from people. Like, they're tired of them at this point. So you need to change them.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
No. Okay.
People are tired of it, honestly.
Tired in the sense that they're tired of seeing the same thing from the same people. That's why there's so much. That's why people were pushing for DC to try to be better, because Marvel.
I think you are speaking in terms of what like nerd comics would feel. But I think if you are talking to your regular Joe Smo who only gets their comic book on a free comic day, they just want consistency, and that's what they like. Like that's what they like. Like, we as inner nerds are someone who, from a privileged standpoint, who reads comics, looks at comics, and talks to a different set of people. I can easily see that. Like, I am overseeing superhero movies, but to you, saying about that, because
what the hell just happened?
They're not reading these in comics. They're not looking at this stuff consistently. So the only time they really get in touch with these superheroes is when they get to see them in movies.
Yeah, and it's more of them than it is us.
yeah, unfortunately. If they were tired of it, they would have stopped making them. Just being honest.
You could be right. You could be right.
Because even my dad, man, like, it's funny. I got like quick story for y'all. my dad, like when he has a habit of like when he really likes something, he'll watch it over and over again, right? So when we came to move back here, not Captain, I keep saying Captain Strange, Lord, Doctor Strange.
That is a thing. That is a thing, actually.
Captain
Yeah,
Strange?
Yeah.
Well,
that's that crossover bullshit though. We don't care.
I'm about to say, well, I guess we'll get to that. But this Doctor Strange movie was like coming on like TNT or something like that, and he was watching it over and over again. I asked him, Dad, do you like Doctor Strange? I was like, because I can get you the movie on Blu-ray. He's like, no, that's fine. I just, I just have it on, really. And then this weekend, my wife was telling me, well, we went and saw the movie, and then when we were about to like leave out or whatever, he's like asking me questions like about the movie. And he's like, is Doctor Strange in it? No, this is before we was going about to see the movie. He was like, is Doctor Strange going to be in it? Like, do you know if he's going to make it out? I was like, Dad, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. Well, is he in it? Like, do you know if like the one time, like, and he's just like literally like, yo, like he's asking me all these questions. Like, bro, like I don't know. Like, and my mom's looking at him like, Bobby, he said he doesn't know. So then fast forward, my wife was like, she was talking to him about like the Endgame or whatever. He finally fessed up and was like, yeah, I like Doctor Strange, because he was asking me like, are they going to do a Doctor Strange movie? Dad, I don't know. Do you think it's going to get a sequel? Dad, I don't know. Like, but like he really likes like Doctor Strange now. And so like for your average, person who is not in the comics, my dad does not read any comics. He has purchased Black Panther, Age of Ultron, Civil War. He has Infinity War. Like, so he enjoys these movies, but he knows nothing about the comics because he'll run my head off about it. So
yeah,
what John is saying definitely has merit.
Yeah, I know. My mom woke me up last night, called me out of my room, go, what's this Infinity War thing stuff, Endgame thing? I'm like, it's like, how your mom called Pokemon?
Yeah.
Like, she was doing that thing. I'm like, that's how impactful stuff is, man. Like, that's how it is. Like, that's what
Pokemon.
I mean. Like,
I have never heard of that.
My mom will find a way to mess up the nerd word real quick.
That is such an old person thing to say.
I remember when I accidentally watched my Digimon cards. Everything was just your little Digimon cards inside your jean pocket.
Yeah.
Little Pokemon cards, little Pokemon. But anyway, she was like, "What's this Endgame about?" I'm like, "Ain't you gonna see it? You want me to spoil it?" She was like, "I just want to know." So like, stuff is impactful. Like, people hear about that, and I know for a fact my mama can probably tell you the difference between Spider-Man, Superman, and Thor, and they all look different. So
that hurts my heart. You shouldn't have told me that. That hurts me.
Welcome to reality, dog. 1969. She grew up with 600 brothers and sisters, so ain't too many comics around that household.
My heart hurts. My heart.
Yeah, that's how impactful stuff is. This in-game stuff goes far.
My mom's really like, she's like, Zach, I want you to come stay with me, because like I was finna go watch it again last night, and preference for this.
I thought you didn't like it though.
I just had my complaints with it, but I wanted to watch it again and put my biases aside with like when it came to Thor and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to watch it again, kind of get my, try to do that. Plus, another thing that was like, so it's kind of trash watching it.
Okay.
I know that made me focus on like the worst parts more. But anyway, so that's just another reason I wanted to watch it. My mom was like, "Hey, you gotta watch it with me." She's like, "No,
yeah,
somebody's got a strong ass bass right now. What the fuck?
What's happening with y'all?"
You said bass?
Yeah, like
bass?
I'm hearing something in the back.
That may be somebody. That may be my mic. Somebody's doing something upstairs.
Okay, I know I got my TV, but it's on the other side of the room though.
But all right. We already hitting up the hour 30 mark. So, are there any last thoughts in regards to Endgame? John, I know you came in a bit later, so if you got anything to air out, let it go.
I just want to know what you think about Thor.
So, look, this is my honest opinion, and I'm sorry, Zach, but it's not gonna match up with yours because I don't read comics. So, for me, when I saw it, it kind of made sense to me. Like, think about it. If you look at it like this, right? And I got this not from watching the Avengers. I got this from watching the spoof. The Black Avengers.
Oh, I hear what you're talking about, Dave. That's not me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. I think it's the TV on the side. My bad. Watching the Black Avengers. Thor is this regal god. He does shit because he's a god.
Yeah.
So he looks at himself above whatever. Think about all of that development Thor went through between Ragnarok and Infinity War. And then what happens at Infinity War? You should have went for the head. He did all of that development and it didn't lead to a damn thing. He didn't save his friends. He didn't win the day. Who gives a fuck? You're a guy. You couldn't do shit. You don't have any family to go back to. You don't have a planet to go back to. What is there for you to do? You are literally Konosuba, if you've seen that. You are a useless god. You have nothing to offer anybody.
No, so I agree, and that's why I had
to for me in the MCU, to see him like that in Endgame, is it funny? Yes. But I think to me, if they're going to keep him going in the next phase, that just adds another layer for him to come back from. Because now it's not because you were a guy, because everything you stood for, you failed at, bro. You failed. You did hit him in the head. You should have went for it, but you failed at that. So now what is your next come up? So I actually like what they did with Thor. They took him out of this picture. They took him out of this role that they literally removed the holy shit. Here comes the guy to save the day. Here comes our God. Here comes Thor. They took him out of that role and they put him as an outlier and they made the audience focus on something completely different. Your God is not here to save you. Chris Hemsworth and his beautiful locks is not going to come and save the day. He should have went for the head. That was awesome. What they did to Thor in Endgame, I absolutely loved. That was awesome. Whoever the writer was for that, I appreciate that because A, it takes a risk because it's going to piss off little pussy fanboys like you. B, it's also going to make the fan base who's not attached to the comics, they're going to make them go, hell yeah, that was funny. I like what they did. And it's okay to piss off Canon Boys sometimes because I get pissed off. I don't like everything that they do when they adapt anime into live action. Like, I'll be the first to admit, Ghost in the Shell live action was actually pretty good. I just didn't like the way they wrote the main villain into it. But you know something? They did it, and it was still good. It was different. Same thing with Thor. Sorry, Zach. You're not going to get an agreement out of me. They did something different. You can do all the complaining you want, because I know this direction you want to go in. You can do all the complaining you want. It's over, bro. It is done. The audience has seen it. It's never going to match up to the comic books. He's done with that. Now he has to figure out.
You coming a little too intense on my podcast, homie. Look,
I'm gonna be intense. Look, I'm gonna be intense.
I already said that shit. I was like, bro, I realized it's just not. This is just not the Thor I want. This is not the Thor I want.
He has said that earlier.
It's okay, bro. You can't get your cake and have your ice cream at the same time. Like,
but Thor did though. He had his cake and his ice cream. So
and guess what he did? He dropped that shit. He dropped it. He had the last hit on the blunt and he dropped it. So guess what? Now you got to so there you go. He lives in New Asgardia with a pot belly, and that's what he does now. Like,
Asgardian of the galaxy now.
Yeah. Now you got to figure it out. He got to work through it. It's all right though. He gonna be okay. He's Thor. He's a god. He'll figure it out.
Will he though? It looks like he got a case of diabetes from Endgame. I'm just saying.
I ain't no front. Some of his later comic book stuff, he looked rough. So maybe he don't figure it out.
That's true.
No, I mean that's the thing with old Thor is, but that's my thing. Okay, so Thor's kind of portrayed, and like I said, it's not in the comic books, right? But my original problem was Thor is like he's a survivor, right? That's his thing because he is a god. Like he survives above all else. He always rises above things. Like he becomes the king of all at the end of time. The problem is it's the end of time and everything's dying, and he can't do anything about that.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
That's the point.
That was my thing.
He still survived. He didn't die.
I mean, he survived, but I'm saying he's not like rising above it, bro. He's just like, bro.
I said my 2 cents.
Supposed to rise above it. He's never had to rise above anything because it always has just worked out for Thor. Like, think about his entire character from the moment he was introduced in the MCU, his individual movies, to losing his brothers. No matter what, Thor just comes out on the other side and just wins the day because he's a god.
Well, in defense to his MCU character, like he did kind of lose, sorta, but Odin or whatever found him worthy again once he actually did kind of die, and then like he was able to like come back and like wield his godly power in the first one. I just think for him, I understand what Zach is saying, I just think that like you have to give him like, because he's a god with a mortal lifespan, if I can say that correctly.
MCU Thor is just like the Vegeta. That's all it is.
What? Okay. But
Zach,
I think I mean, because
I'm looking at my mic like, really?
Yeah. I mean, and I said it earlier, all the things that he went through, right? Because one of the points I made to Zach and Dave was just like, take into account everything he went through in Ragnarok and in Infinity War. This was a matter of what, like 3 or 4 weeks that all this stuff happened to him. So you're not going to get, like, you have to give him room to go through something and to be affected by it. That was my whole point. But Zach has conceded.
No, the gap between Ragnarok and Infinity War is like a fucking day or two.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But when you get to Endgame, it's like 4 weeks total, maybe.
Oh yeah. It was like what this
until you get the 5-year, time skip. But yeah, Zach.
Because of Infinity War, right? That's when everything's lost. Like, he's already lost it all in a span of like a day.
Lost what all? What do you mean? Oh, you talking about all his people? Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, so then add on the fact that he didn't save the day. Thanos still does what he does, and then 3 weeks later, you can't reverse what he did. That'd fuck me up too. That's all I'm saying.
And that's why I said I wanted to rewatch it without my Thor bias, because I realized at this point, this is just not the Thor I want.
Mm-hmm.
I could understand it.
Zach's Thor bias is like my Spider-Man bias. Like I
think your Spider-Man bias is not as intense as his Thor bias, bro.
Okay,
he was mad day one in Discord. I was mad thinking to myself, like, this is the last movie. It ended with just the Marvel logo and the original sound of Iron Man beating his armor together, and he gonna have the nerve to bitch about Thor. Like, bro, you ain't got no more. So I don't think the Spider-Man.
No.
It's Thor.
Okay.
Look, my problem was the whole movie. How many fat jokes did they make? At what point does it quit being funny?
Dog, it's okay, bro. Like, I'm a big boy.
That shit lame.
6 in stone, Zach. Like, you are not Thor. You don't have to see yourself in him. So, like, they're not talking about you.
No, hold on. I will say this.
Y'all would not let that shit be funny anywhere else. I'm
gonna say this. Endgame.
Are you acting like a snowflake on your own podcast?
Okay, hold up.
Do you think they were fat shaming people?
Oh my god.
Was he not sitting there?
Okay, hey, cut it. Let's speak one at a time for this. Zach, say your piece.
He just left. Oh boy.
I think his mic went out. But anyway, what I will say is, for Endgame, there was a lot of humor in there that was misplaced. Like, in the serious moments, they were trying to put humor in there that I'm like, that was not the moment to do it. So I will say I can agree with Zach on that, where they were doing fat jokes where it really, like, yes, we know he's fat at this point. But in the situation that y'all trying to make that joke in, not necessary. Like, let's just get the plot moving.
What part would you say is not necessary?
I can't specifically name one. It's just there was times I just definitely felt like a joke was not necessary here. Like
there's never an inappropriate time for a fat joke.
Well, I think one of the complaints,
if you in the trenches fighting with your guns in the middle of war, and your fat homie come running, and you got to get to the bunker, you ain't gonna look around and say, "Bring your fat ass on." Like, you gonna. It is never.
But I think the complaint was that, like, the scene at New Asgard, when you actually see him, they kind of went too long. I think that was your thing, Dave.
That was one of them, and then, like, even not just the Thor one, but the fucking Hulk doing the dab shit, that awkward ass shit. I'm like, okay, the initial Ant-Man getting jelly because he didn't get it, nobody wanted his autograph. Like, okay, that was cool, but then they just played that too long, and I was just like, okay, I just kind of want the story now. I don't care about y'all jokes. I want this to be more serious, but that's just me.
That was I felt the seriousness was definitely there.
No, the seriousness was there. It's just I wanted for this to be the end of the era. I wanted a bit more serious. I wanted the Infinity War vibe in Endgame. It was less of that than I was hoping for.
I think from a serious standpoint, I guess looking at it and criticizing, I guess we had the room in Infinity War to have that moment because there was still another movie to make.
Mhm.
I think this one, like I was telling Zach, there's nothing else left. And you don't even see this just in movies. You see this in everything that ends. They give you everything in the kitchen sink. To me, I like the comedic moments just because in those serious moments, it's kind of like, think about it. There was people in my movie theater crying. You don't think those funny moments is kind of like hey, like we know it's ending, but like this is a kickback to like how the vibe for this has totally been. This fun, amazing ride that started off rough. We caught our wave, and now we're riding it to the end. I love the comedic moments just because this is it. We're not getting this cast again. We're not getting this relationships again. We're not seeing these dynamics again. So for some of the jokes, especially with the Hulk, I thought that was awesome because we're never going to see that again. At least not with this dynamic cast.
I hear you, and I do agree that the humor was good. The humor being there is good to break up some of the more serious moments. It's just the timing of some of the jokes and some of the humor was wrong to me. Like the pacing.
I think for an adult, you are right. For an adult, the timing was off if you're an adult watching a movie. But I think for a kid, though, for a 3-hour and 1 minute movie, I think the timing representative trying to keep someone who's maybe less than 12, who's watching this with their parents, and it kind of, there's something funny that a kid can pick up on or keep them laughing. Because it's a 3-hour and 1 minute movie. Mm-hmm. Like even for adults, that's a long time to sit through. But for a kid, it's Disney. You got to pander. You got to write this movie for everybody. So I think ill timing for adults who are kind of like, oh shit, they didn't need a joke there. But for kids, they might need a joke there. Like they might have needed that.
Maybe, but okay.
Excuse me. Sorry, sneezed. My bad.
Final question.
But I do see your point though on some of the jokes and where they replaced that. I do see your point on that though.
Okay, so final question before we close this thing out. What are your hopes for the future of the MCU? Because we are going into Phase 4 and possibly a Phase 5.
Finish out Phase 4. Leave little to no improvisation, like trying to improvise on the spot. I think Marvel has definitely found that they have found success with making their plans and sticking to it. So right now we're going to, I guess we're going into whatever Disney Plus that they're going to release.
Yeah. Actually, I got the list of stuff that's coming up for Disney Plus whenever you guys are ready for it.
Yeah. So they're, they have a thing of a lineup with that has to be, deal with the MCU basically, or MCU adjacent, whatever, however you want to, kind of call it. So I think they're going to, see how that goes. And if it warrants a Phase 5, we'll see it, if we see, something of that nature. But I think that they, when it comes to the blockbuster movies after Phase 4, they may take a break for a while and then maybe they'll pick it back up. Mm-hmm. But, right. Either way, I'm fine. I plan on getting Disney Plus. So, yeah.
All right. Jeremy, what about you?
Definitely looking forward to the next Black Panther film. I'm hoping for a solo Hulk film. I'm not gonna lie.
You're gonna be shit out of Hulk.
Yeah,
that ain't happening.
Hey, it needs to happen.
No, it don't. Happen, we don't need no Hulk movie.
If they do it the right way,
that would be going backwards. It's almost as backwards as doing this Black Widow movie. Honestly, it would probably be even worse.
All right, so.
Yeah, then I guess I'm just looking forward to the Black Panther movie then.
Okay. Just crush his hopes and dreams.
My bad.
I guess it's just fucking this shit.
Okay.
Let a man be happy. Goddamn.
Rob, John, on you.
For me, I'm hoping that we see a lot more, I guess, intertwining with what Disney Plus is going to be offering with some of their TV shows. Like, for example, I'm definitely going to be getting Disney Plus just to watch the Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show that's coming out. And then I also want to see what they're going to be doing with this Loki thing and the Tesseract. And is that opening up a different timeline where Loki's at, and just all kind of questions related to that. So I'm just looking to see what kind of daring stuff they're going to do. Of course, you got Black Panther 2 coming out and all that as well, too. I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do with the rest of his story. And I don't know. Just keep my ears open and eyes open and see what's going to be coming next from Marvel in the next phase. And I definitely see them taking a break, though, after like the next huge blockbuster trilogy. Definitely taking a nice long break after that. We have been around this for 11 years now? 11 years straight?
Give or take, yeah.
Yeah, 11 years.
Well, for me personally, I'm looking forward to Spider-Man Far From Home. Now that fucking Iron Man's dead, I can finally enjoy a Spider-Man movie without his bitch ass. Black Panther 2, of course. Black Widow, not really concerned about that movie. I am interested in seeing Shang-Chi and the Eternals. Shang-Chi is probably, hopefully, going to be better than what they try to do with Iron Fist. Eternals, that's going to be an interesting one because that is an obscure group who not many people understand or know about. But hey, if they did like they did with the Guardians of the Galaxy, they could become popular in the future. I'm still debating on whether or not I want to get the Disney Plus for the MCU shit, but I will say that I'm interested to see what they do with new Captain America Sam Wilson because there's gonna be a lot of people mad about that. I guarantee you now because
Yeah, but it was actually a thing in the comics, right?
yeah, but it was also hated.
I see. Okay.
So, and while I will say that the comic books had some interesting stories with that version of Captain America, overall it wasn't the greatest thing ever. And I can see a lot of people just getting mad over a certain reason why this is a thing. But
10-4.
I 10-4
I don't
on
think-
that, but I think things are starting to change a little bit as far as like, yes, in the nerd community and the comic community, we still get issues with that. But look what happened with over at Teen Titans. They let her do her thing. They trashed Starfire, and then she ended up becoming the only thing that really held that show together. So, I mean, I think we won't see it Sam Wilson as Captain America for quite some time. And it might come at a time where we might just not necessarily be past that, but at a point where we can at least say, hey, at least trying to stick to the comics. And I don't know. Get a good Black Panther too, and I think that might set up for a good transition into the next Captain America. I think that's what have to happen first, though.
I like your
Anthony Mackie. Hold on, y'all. Anthony Mackie does not have the star power to carry that shield.
It's not about star power for me. It's whether or not you can actually fit the role well. I don't care about I barely remember these actors' names.
Yeah, he'll definitely have if they even go that route, they'll have the cast around him. Like people have to remember, and I mean this is just from my standpoint. The Captain America, the first Avenger movie, to me that movie sucked.
It is.
And
yeah,
it's
dry.
Yeah, so what they ended up doing was the second Captain America movie, which was Winter Soldier. Let's surround him with a little more star power. So let's CC Samuel L. Jackson and Black Widow, and then all the this other stuff surrounding Captain America, and it was better. Then the next Captain America movie is Civil War, which is again Avengers 1.5 or 2.5, whatever you want to call it. And it's still not technically a solo movie. So if they have anything Captain America-ish, I will see them surrounding Anthony Mackie with people and it not be a Captain America movie, if that makes sense. If they ever went that route.
I hear y'all, and I love the optimism. I just know that based off of how people treated Finn from Star Wars when he was announced, how fucking people felt about Rey, like there's gonna be those groups of people who I know are gonna come out the woodworks, and I'm just gonna sit back and watch them fucking rant and rave. But okay, plug y'all shit. Rob, start with you.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you all for joining us. I'm Mr. Ascended on Facebook. Also one of the creators of All Nerd Everything and Dragon Ball Ascended. But please come see us at All Nerd Everything. Right now Dragon Ball is kind of dead, so yeah. And also the Ascended Nerd podcast. We are definitely going to plug this in on the Ascended Nerd podcast. So Dave, when you upload this, let me know. I'll go ahead and get the file and do my thing over there. We're all Ascended Nerd universe. So thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
No problem, John.
I'm John, or you can call me Majin Musgrove. But if you're ever on Twitch, Majin Prism Power is the name. You can catch me streaming Wednesday through Saturday, 7 till midnight, For Honor, Titanfall 2, Civilization with my boy Merrick. Also one of the admins over at All Nerd Everything, usually plugging manga or talking about anime. So feel free to always stop in and get into a decent conversation, and that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and catch us at Bromigos as well too. If you're ever interested in live couch gaming, old school style, that's what we're about. Twitch.tv/Bromigos.
And the links to all that stuff will be in the descriptions below. This has been the No Justice Network, and we out this piece. Peace.